As we begin the descent down the mountain, things are going to change moving forward. I'm going to ask you to follow a strict protocol with how things are arranged and organized, which you probably won't fully understand until the end of week 5. But just know that now, instead of making you do the work to learn, I'll be making you do the work of reverse engineering what is going on. I'm putting a lot of faith in all of you here, but judging everyone by their work, the hardest parts seem to be tackled so beautifully. It's time to just pour everything I've got into the second half of these 6 weeks. Let's open up a new page in Roam and call it Your Name / Captured. Fire off the template for creating a captured page. And let's walk through this. The template in the child block will have things color coordinated with clear directions. The only thing I want you to do on this page is have a landing spot for all of the fleeting notes that will begin to accumulate. The first pass of fleeting ideas and thoughts that resonated with you and why. Enough to remember just in case you don't have time to come back to this idea within a day or two. I know Sonke and Lumen both came back to fleeting notes to process that same night or sometimes the following day at the latest, but to prepare for what real life throws at you and the fact that Roam can handle more than a napkin's worth of notes, go wild. Keep the majority of this on the highest level child block, but once you know the rules, you can break them, of course. Fill in the reference notes before you leave this page with the source and URL at the top level parent block. Remember, this is important. You can put more than one piece of information on that parent level block. For instance, source to the URL as well as the actual block could easily be put on the same parent block. Screenshots, images, PDFs, anything else can live as children underneath that parent block. As you go through and add more and more of these captured fleeting notes, I do not want any more than 12 of these at a time, at any time. You can change this parent block to show as a numbered list to help with the count, but no more than 12. If you have more from a large book during a massive extraction process, then that's fine, but keep them away from this page. Have them somewhere outside of Roam is what I would suggest. Every week or a couple of days, you can refill back up to 12, but don't go above that number, at least with me in this book club. Add more fleeting notes that are captured using the template and go in descending order so things are processed first in, first out. That's it. Now, let me walk you through how this is going to look moving forward. Shift-click on your captured page and have that live in your sidebar. What I'm going through is my exact step-by-step process, so keep that in mind. On the Mac, Control-Shift-D will take you back to the home page or the daily notes page. And yes, I want you to start learning keyboard shortcuts too. In the daily notes page, we are not going to have any more guided writing exercises. At least I don't think we are. But rather, any time allocated in the day will now be spent capturing new fleeting notes or processing those captured fleeting notes into permanent notes. I want you all to see the entire process first, before I go through each step individually. So think of this as a magician revealing his secret before having you practice it on your own to master the trick. Make sure you go into your user settings and set your display name in order to know whose block it is. The capture page on the sidebar is actually not where the work gets done, so we don't need a timestamp or anything else. We just need that simple structure to save us time. So what I'll do is I'll create a timestamp on the daily notes page, which notates that I'm beginning, and then I'll drag my first captured fleeting note underneath as a child block underneath that timestamp. Again, I don't want you to do any of this right now. Just capture. Read through Sonke's book and just capture your fleeting notes. This is just for demonstrative purposes and something you can go back to later this week when the concepts begin coalescing. I'll add my literature notes summary, all familiar stuff. But now, when I want to write a new permanent note, I do not just write it at the top. I close the capture page and I shift click to open the permanent notes page. This is the Zettelkasten. I begin with my index, which is notated by a hashtag. Then my actual permanent note, which is continuing the conversation from the note above it. I'll connect the note in the Zettelkasten with the note in the daily notes page, index in brackets just for aesthetics because of how the CSS works. And also linking the permanent notes. I'll Option or Alt drag over the relevant notes that are relevant to this new note that I want to stumble upon later, and then I'm done. These next 2 weeks are going to be understanding how each of these things work and why they work, and how this is the power of everything that we've been working towards. You can watch back this video again, but I wouldn't even worry about it too much since you're going to know exactly how this is done in the next 10 days. For now, please read through Sonke's book, or even any book you'd like, really, and add up to 12, maximum 12, fleeting notes ready to be processed over this next week in your captured page. Keep them in your captured page. Capture the first pass of the fleeting notes only, and make sure you add all references to the source material as well, the URL and link to the source or block on the top level parent block, and any screenshot images or files underneath as children blocks of the reference notes tag. Please don't mess this structure up. It's going to be incredibly powerful in the coming days. And make sure you follow these instructions to the T. I'll see you tomorrow.